In the declining superhero genre, Spider-Man Brand New Day once again reminds us why the web slinger is the GOAT. This movie's gonna make a whole lot of money, but if you haven't seen it yet, what you doing here? Just like with No Way Home, they are keeping a lot of the plot under wraps, including the identity of one red-headed Stranger Things star, so I'll give you guys one chance to back out before we hit those spoilers. So Tom Holland is back for his 4th solo outing as Spider-Man, and for sure it feels like a new beginning. I believe the plan is for another trilogy. The home films felt like Peter establishing himself as the Spider-Man of the MCU. Brand New Day definitely feels like the start of a new chapter. He's no longer an Avenger, nor has he got all the Stark technology to rely on. 4 years after losing Aunt May and Doctor Strange's spell that made everyone forget who Peter Parker was, including MJ and Ned. Peter now lives by himself, and one of the core themes of the film is loneliness. And as someone who has had their own fair share of experience like this, it does hit home. Peter has nobody and is fully devoted to being the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Just like in Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 2, Peter is struggling to find a balance between his dual life. Spidey is the people's champion and has taken down several threats, including Tombstone in the Hand. Everyone loves him, but his fans don't see the emotional weight he bears behind the scenes. The human side of Peter is almost non-existent. He spends all day every day stopping crimes or waiting for the next alert on his phone. In what little time he does have not being Spider-Man, he's stalking his friends online or contemplating giving MJ the letter he wrote at the end of No Way Home. And at this stage, if Tom Holland's not your favourite Spider-Man, and if you don't love MJ and Ned, I don't think this film will change your mind. But I think you are being disingenuous if you say Tom Holland's not great in the role. He's one of the most likeable guys in Hollywood, and you could tell he truly loves the character. And this might be his best performance. And because of all the stress, grief, and focusing solely on being Spider-Man, Peter's DNA is evolving, making him stronger, faster, his senses are heightened, and his body now produces organic webbing. However, all these changes come at once and make his crime-fighting life a little harder. He hasn't had time to adapt to these changes, and they are freaking him out. He creates an inhibitor device to suppress his new abilities, to suppress his evolution. All this comes at a time when damage control are under threat by a mysterious telepath who has the ability to possess others, including Scorpion. And this is when we get our big spoiler, the one I think anyone in the know saw coming a mile away. Sadie Sink is playing Jean Grey, who you'll all know as a member of the X-Men, an extremely powerful mutant with the powers of telekinesis and telepathy, who later embodies the awesome power of the Phoenix Force. The X-Men don't exist in the MCU. The Fox versions will show up in Doomsday, but I don't think Jean Grey will be part of the team. And she may be part of the original MCU version one day. I think Sadie's in for the long run here. She will be a central character. But anyways, Jean is causing havoc, attacking several damage control sites, seeking information on her sister Sarah, and the mysterious VMAX, which turns out to be nothing other than the part of the vent logo, the last thing Sarah saw during the experiments that killed her. You probably thought it was some sort of mutant cure or some sort of weapon, but no, it was nothing. And I like that twist. But I'm sure you all saw the damage control twist coming. The moment we meet Metzger, you knew he was the bad guy. But I don't think the film's intention was to try to overly hide it. I think Peter was just being a bit naive. But in the end, Jean's own trauma puts the people of New York in danger. But instead of defeating her in an all-out CGI fest, Peter allows Jean to enter his mind, something that she's been unable to do for the entire movie. And a memory of Aunt May at the end of Homecoming helps Jean realize that she's not alone, she's more than her powers, and she comes to terms with it all, and she helps Peter out. And I don't think Jean has much or any connection with Spider-Man in the comics. Many fans are probably mad that they didn't have an iconic Spidey villain such as Venom or Hobgoblin, but I kind of like how they done it. It sets up Jean's role in a future MCU Mutant X-Men movie, and also we have Peter's power inhibitor, which is likely going to be a central plot device. There will be others that will try to replicate this when the mutants become more wide scale. And we've had so many Spider-Man films now, and all the stupid Sony movies as well. We have seen several versions of Spider-Man's most iconic villains. There are others as well that we haven't seen yet. Hopefully we will one day. But honestly, I wasn't that bothered that they went for something different. And Sadie's a star. I know not everyone is a fan of hers. They all say that she's just playing herself in every movie. She's just playing Max from Stranger Things. But she more than handles herself next to a very motivated Tom Holland. There was one scene when Jean's running, and I'm sure I wasn't the only one who started to sing Kate Bush in their head. As for Ned and MJ, they are fine. I know Zendaya isn't everyone's cup of tea, but the husband and wife duo are solid, and there is a moment when Jean possesses MJ that is memorable. Also, I know when you're watching the trailers a while ago, you were trying to find all the empty spaces where they removed secret cameos or two, like they did with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield for No Way Home. And I remember everyone was screaming, Daredevil confirmed, but no, Daredevil's not in the movie. And there are a few surprises and guest appearances, but I don't know about you, but I was happy they didn't go overboard. I kind of feel Yelena, the new Black Widow and leader of the new Avengers, felt a little forced, but I'll admit it, I was a little distracted with naked Florence Pugh. I'm a red-blooded male, so sue me. I guess they just want to remind you the new Avengers exist, and not everyone bothered with the Thunderbolts, so whatever. And it does make sense there are other New York heroes around, especially in times like this, in times of crisis. In the early days of the MCU, there was very little crossover outside of the tentpole big Avengers movies. Where was so-and-so during Iron Man 3 or Winter Soldier? Why didn't they help out? And Tom Holland's always had guests in his Spider-Man movies, with Tony Stark in Homecoming, Nick Fury in Far From Home, and Peter 2 and 3, and all their villains in No Way Home. And personally, I felt that they put Iron Man and Nick Fury in the movies, not only to bridge the solo Spidey films into the wider MCU, but to give Spidey the rub, to use their star power to boost interest for a relatively new and unproven version of the character. And this was on the heels of the Amazing Spider-Man 2 crashing their plans. So I get it. Whereas all the cameos here in Brand New Day are to benefit everyone else from being in Tom Holland's Spider-Man. We all know the issues with a solo Hulk film. Marvel can't do it, but they can put him in other heroes' films like they did with Thor Ragnarok. Bruce Banner could have easily been replaced with Kurt Connor's Lizard. That reminds me of the old PS1 game, but it's fine. And Savage Hulk makes his return, so that's always good. Professor Hulk more than overstayed his welcome. And the Hulk's probably not been this good since Age of Ultron, and that's going back a long time. I'm still holding out for Joe Fixit's Grey Hulk to show up one day, but if they want to use Savage Hulk exclusively going forward, I'll take it. The main guest appearance in this film is the Punisher, who you remember was played by Jon Bernthal in the Netflix Daredevil days, and that's going back a while. You may have skipped the Netflix days, you may only tune in for the films, so this might be your first experience of the Punisher. But I think Frank's at his best here. The Punisher is a very serious character, whereas most of the time Spidey is your lighthearted, family-friendly kind of hero. But they just work so good together. Opposites truly attract. And I just want more Frank and Peter team-up movies, or at least one-off specials, something like that. And the scenes at the very end where Peter takes the bullet and then in the hospital, those are the moments that make a truly good superhero film. All the over-the-top CGI fights is just the icing. Emotion and character, relationships is what truly makes a good superhero film. But overall, such a good Spider-Man film. Perhaps Tom Holland's best, I'll let you know. We'll see how it ages, but No Way Home for sure has the big moments and the surprises, but Brand New Day hits you in the feels, especially if you've gone for your own experience with depression or loneliness. There are big fights, big spectacle, the Hulk fight stands out, and I don't think web slinging has ever looked this good on film. A lot of Spidey's moments and action come straight out of the Insomniac games, and the suit looks peak. It's very similar to the one at the end of No Way Home, but I believe this is a practical version, and it just looks so much better. This is a reason why practical effects and real costumes trump CGI almost every time. It's so refreshing to have a hero that's hopeful and optimistic, even at their lowest. I'm tired of deconstruction and tearing down our favourites. Spidey is the man, and he brings in the big bucks, so they ain't getting their grubby hands on him. He truly is the world's greatest superhero. They probably could have trimmed 10 minutes or so. I kind of feel the whole Peter remembers, but his friends don't was overplayed. And they probably could have given Tombstone more than 5 seconds. Maybe explain why Scorpion has all his gear. Not shoehorned a couple of Avengers in just for the sake of it. It might not be the perfect friendly neighborhood Spider-Man we all wanted after No Way Home, but let me know what you think. How do you feel about Spider-Man Brand New Day? Where does it rank in the all-time Spider-Man movies? Anyways guys, thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you soon!